Hi there, it's Carol from Solid Support. Today I'm going to present Asta risk analysis. The purpose of risk analysis is to help identify the likelihood of a project finishing on time and on budget. We do it by applying defined level of uncertainty to tasks' durations. As a benefit, we can highlight those tasks that carry the biggest risk. We can proactively manage risks before they cause real issues, and as a result, we've got more realistic project plans and increased probability of project success. Here is the project I'm going to use for risk analysis. You can see every task has defined minimum and maximum duration in columns. Let's run Asta risk analysis. You can see many different switches and options here. Let's have a look how the risk analysis software works. So after we enter uncertainty, minimum and maximum durations for all tasks, Asta simulates the project number of times. The results of the simulation provide a statistical breakdown of probable durations and costs for individual tasks and the project as a whole. First thing we need to do is defining the scope we need to run the risk analysis on. So we can select all projects, all activities within the Asta, or it can be just selected branch or view. Another thing is schedule check. It's very important to make sure that we don't have any problematic issues within the schedule, such as constrained, open-ended tasks, broken logic links, or lags. This information we can get from schedule check report. Next option we've got is a distribution. You can see number of different distributions listed. When I select the one of distributions button, you can notice that on the right hand side it shows me the description of the distribution. When I select another one, it changes to the one which is selected. To understand the distribution better, let's assume we're going to work on skewed and triangular distribution, where my tasks has most likely duration of 10 days, minimum duration 7, and maximum 17 days. You can see that I've got 8 chances to achieve 10 days duration during simulations. I've got 2 chances to achieve minimum and 1 chance to achieve maximum duration of the task. Next option is sampling method. We've got 2. Again, when I select radio button on one of sampling methods, the description appears on the right hand side. The difference between 2 sampling methods is we can say that Monte Carlo is purely random simulation, purely random sampling, where Latin hypercube is considered as improved version of Monte Carlo, and it gives much better results in fewer iterations. Next option we've got is number of iterations. We can define manually how many iterations that we want to run. Usually 500 or more iterations is the best for accurate results. When we go to task risks option, we can find that there is number of possibilities to define uncertainty for our tasks. So first possibility is manually enter minimum and maximum duration in columns, what I just did. Another possibility is to use code library, where every single code library entry has a range. For example, this code library has a range between 50% of original duration as a minimum to 150% of original duration as a maximum. When I assign these code libraries to my tasks, system automatically is going to consider these ranges of uncertainties for selected tasks. The third option is use default risk percentage, where we spread 70% as a minimum duration and 130 as a maximum duration for all tasks across the project. Next step will be selecting Generate button. Now you can see that system starts with iterations, so it randomizing task durations and rescheduling every time. To visualize what exactly it does with with every single iterations, with every single task, let's consider task with minimum, most likely, and maximum duration. One of durations within that range can be hit, so it can be minimum duration, maximum, or somewhere in between. After completing the defined number of iterations for the simulation, we've got table which shows us probability and dates or costs of the project. So in this example, I've got 20% probability of finishing project on 6th of November, where at the moment is 14th of November, which is 8 days shorter, and it cost me $5.6 thousand less. I can create the optimistic scenario using baselines. I change the color of the baseline. And I have a look on the pessimistic scenario. So I've got 80% of chances to complete project on 24th, which is 10 days later and cost me $4,000 more. You can see now what is the difference between actual optimistic and pessimistic scenario based on risk analysis simulation. Another thing we can get from the risk analysis is possibility to export this information to Excel for further reporting, or use sensitivity or likelihood and distribution reports. If we go to sensitivity report, basically this report identifies the tasks within a project that are most likely to cause delays or cost variations. Therefore, they should be monitored most closely. So most risky in terms of extending duration will be task 8 in my example. If I go to cost sensitivity report, I've got similar outcome where task 8 may cause the biggest cost overruns. So I know from this report that this task must be monitored really closely. When I go to criticality index sensitivity report, this report identifies the tasks that appear on critical path most often in the iterations that are produced during the risk analysis. So in my example, tasks from 1 to 9 are always on the critical path during risk analysis simulation. Another report is likelihood and distribution, where vertical bars and the left-hand axis show the number of times each result was hit during the iterations. The current finish date of the schedule is highlighted in different color, which is yellow in my example, and the percentage of likelihood of particular result is shown by the cumulative line on the right axis. So the reports illustrates the full range of possible outcomes, everything from the most extreme to most likely, and assigns a probability to each of the scenarios. Similar cost and likelihood distribution graph, and also on the right side for each of these graphs we've got additional statistics and options selected before running before running risk analysis simulation. Thanks for watching.